Shalom, everybody. What's happening? I wanted to share what I'm working on today. I got some cuttings. These are cherry fruit, but this will work with most hardwood tree cuttings. Probably some soft stuff too. I'm soaking these a little bit because they've been traveling and they started to bud. Some of them are budding, some of them are not. This is the end of May. The greenhouse I'm not using because it's okay, but it's kind of too hot to be it goes unregulated. So what I'm doing here is I got, let's see if I can do this. Got some rooting powder, don't matter what kind. And I got my cuttings, got my knife, snips, and my scissors. Either one, snips or scissors. I took this is a water bottle, close to a gallon, and I cut the bottom out, rinsed it out, and I'm going to take a t-shirt, a piece of cloth, and zip tie to give a little bit of breathing space. I'm gonna put 2 of these. I got 7. Put 2 of them each in each. I got 14 of these. I got 7 pots. This is the method I'm trying. I got my rooting medium, which is half sand, half peat moss. I got it good and wet, and half the pot is filled with potting soil up to about here. So this is kind of a carefree rooting system, so I don't have to be checking on it every day, every week. So it's up to potting soil about here. I'm gonna put and it's got rooting medium, which is inert material. It could be sand or peat moss. This is a mix of sand and peat moss, and it's the other half of the pot. And this bottle fits about half the diameter of the pot. So inside the bottle you'll have the greenhouse effect, and I'll give it a little breathing space with the piece of cloth on here. But half of the pot will be exposed to, it had the sprinklers on it once a day. So half the pot will be exposed to the rain and the sprinkler system. That'll keep the medium wet. The other half of the pot will be in the greenhouse system, and the moisture will wick into the greenhouse area, and that'll give it the greenhouse effect to help it root. Hopefully root, and just we'll see how it goes. This is my experiment. This is kind of a carefree system because I'm not this is for I'm trying to figure out systems where I can set it and forget it, and come back and see what my success rate is. So this is kind of experimental. Ideally you would root it first and then put it in the greenhouse area. Well, I'm gonna set up the greenhouse area, and hopefully it'll root simultaneously. That's the ideal though. So half the space, know if you can see that. So this much space here, about 2 inches. Got about 2 inches around the diameter of the pot. Will get watered, and this will sit in the rooted medium. Then we're gonna cover this with the, instead of putting the cap on it, which totally close it off. That could work, but it needs to breathe because it's not totally closed off. So we're gonna put a piece of cloth on here with a zip tie so it can breathe, so it'll get water at the bottom and greenhouse at the top. If you was to leave this, theoretically, this system, let's say you set this up and just forget about it, what should happen is if the water is consistent, the plant, when it starts growing, will reach the organic material, which is halfway through the pot. And what I've seen with this, because I've done this with tomatoes in the ground, what happened is the tomato gets big enough and it'll just push this, bottle off. So the plant, if you was to set this and forget it, literally, the plant should push this thing off and take over, theoretically, if it grows that big. If not, it'll be green and bushy inside the greenhouse area. But if you forget about it or neglect it, if the plant roots and take cold, it should be okay when you come back. That's the ideal. So I got everything set up. I've already filled these pot out. Like I say, organic materials down about here at the halfway point, and this is inorganic rooting medium. So the roots will reach down and get the stuff. So one of them, maybe I'll check on it, and that way, if it does what I think it does, it doesn't have to go through transplant shock. Or what I could do also, instead of getting a transplant shock, because I have 2 in here, I can add more material on the top to feed it and leave it in the pot for a year. That's the ideal. Let's see if it works. So there we go. Let's go. My tubes are clean. I don't know if they're sharp. I'm taking off. I'm supposed to take off all of the green material. All of the cambium layer, which is quite a bit, actually. I don't think I'll ever hardly do it the totally proper way. But I think the ideal of this is to stop it from trying to the cambium layer is like the green layer, and that's the layer that it moves the water through. You want to stop it from trying to, because what'll happen if you don't take this off is it'll still try to move water, and it just won't develop roots. It'll be like, this will work, and it'll start growing plant material. And my thing is, I need to sharpen these shears. It won't develop roots. So I got a fresh cut there. So if you take off, I need to have a knife sharpener there. attitudes of dog. I've been using too much. So there we go. I don't know what else. Oh, there we go. It's kind of ragging, just dipping in some rooting material. And I'm going to put it in, make a little hole. I don't want to lose my. There we go. Let's try that again. I already got into some of this one. I've been at a, I want to be honest, anywhere from 20 to 50% success rate with my cuttings. That's where I'm at. I think part of it is because I don't have a daily maintenance routine. I'm not here every day watching the front like I should be. So do a lot of set and forget type stuff, and what lives lives and what don't, it won't. It's a bad attitude, but it's the reality of my current situation. Make sure I don't go over the length of, let's push this down a little bit more. Trying to be over the length of, so I'm about to go a little bit deeper with this one. Try that again. Make sure that I don't and there we go. You can see that. We'll do that about 7 more times. And this is the shade tree. It's related to the mulberry and the fig. And it's got little berries. They call it the melon berry. They usually like to use the mulberry, I think, for silkworm, feeding silkworms. But I heard that they taste delicious, so I would like to try them out. I heard it tastes like fig and melon. It tastes like watermelon and fig. So, trying to have some things that not a lot of people have. All right, that's it. The Hebrew Homestead update. I just wanted to share some of my attempts with rooting, and the transplanting is what put me at the 50%. I'll get 80-90% rooting, and I believe it's the timing of the transplanting I might be waiting too long to transplant, or I might be transplanting too soon. I don't know. But the transplanting, I get 80-90% rooting, and the transplanting will bring me down to 50%, sometimes even 20%. And some of them is still yet to see, because you go over summer and some of them may come back, but they get the transplant shock, and I'm not sure if they should stay in the greenhouse. Preferably, it'd be nice if they could stay in the greenhouse, but this hoop house I got is not yet very well regulated, so I got some water in here, but I don't have the ventilation to control the temp, so it probably gets way too hot, and I risk killing all of them with the heat, because it's 20 degrees, 30 degrees above outside temperature. So when it gets in the 80s and 90s, you're talking about 110, 120 degrees. Much I got surviving that. So we'll keep working on it. When I give my greenhouse a little bit of ventilation, I think I have better cutting propagation percentages. So that's it. I'm gonna do this about 7 more times, developing that crown. And I'm out.